are very excited to introduce you to Season 3, Episode 1's original Artist of the Week, Karen Bella. Karen, welcome to Good Talk.
Oh, yeah.
Yay!
So in fall, I set the date for March 13th, 2020, where there was coronavirus, COVID-19 did not even exist.
Wow.
And the Rockwood Music Hall, the date was set.
Yeah.
I got the person to make the cupcakes and made the event page and planned everything and got the musicians and paid the musicians ahead of time. And then as we got closer, it was just a big mess. And the show almost didn't happen. Everything was shut down, I believe, on the 16th, 17th. And I was one of the last, either the last or one of the last performers to perform a live show in the city before the shutdown.
Wow.
And it was such a stressful week and a stressful day. And I'm so happy that I got to do this show. I was supposed to have about 80 people come to this
That
venue.
show was on my radar. I was getting messages. I saw posts about it online, and I was getting messages from Dave Black every other day. Don't want to miss this event.
Wow.
And yeah, I was wondering.
I made a special video commercial too. I hired the videographer and Sam Ash, because I have a sponsorship with them. They let me shoot in their location in Carl Place. And
Oh, nice.
yeah. So it's all these wonderful things were happening, and then it's
Wow.
but I'm not the only one that this affected, obviously. It was just horrible timing.
Yeah.
But my record is out. The
It
CDs
is
are
out. It's self-titled, and it is downloadable everywhere.
Yeah, on every
Look at
platform.
the picture. Look at you.
Oh yeah, thank
That's
you.
really cool. Very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's supposed to have a thematic feel of a double, almost like a double-sided, because an artist is not just one sound.
Right.
You have the rock side to you, and you have the folk side to you. So if you listen to the album, the record as a whole, there's 6 songs on it. You'll hear some stuff is more edgy, and then some stuff is very kind of Nora Jonesy meets John Mayer meets Joni Mitchell,
Very cool.
I thought it was interesting that you were wearing your Honey Jack shirt, because I am loving the Honey Jack song.
Yeah, so this shirt I bought in a $5
honey?
store, and it just said honey, and I took a shirt marker and I just wrote Jack on it.
Yes.
And coincidentally, I'm wearing it. I'm wearing sweatpants, and so I'm dressed down, and coincidentally, I'm wearing this.
That's pretty funny, because I was listening to that song today.
Oh, really? Wow. The record version or a live version?
It was the live version that you have listed on KarenBella.com.
Oh, cool. You should listen to the record version.
I will.
It's my producer took all these songs and he brought them to an entirely different level. His name is Josh Dion. He's a fantastic drummer, singer, and instrumentalist in general. He's in a band called Paris Monster, and he plays the drums, a synthetic bass, which is a mini keyboard, and sings all at the same time.
Oh, wow.
And he's just this virtuoso. And
He's an octopus.
what?
He's an octopus.
He's an octopus, yeah.
Yes. Where's he based out of? Where's he from?
I asked him how he does it in the studio once, and he's just he turns to me and he's like, I don't know.
Is it a city studio or Long Island? Is he from around here?
He's a Brooklyn guy, and we recorded in Grand Street Studios.
Grand Street. Okay.
On Grand Street in Williamsburg.
Mm.
They name things like I do.
What?
They name things like I do.
Yeah, it's great.
That's very cool.
And it's the coolest studio. It's literally one huge room that has every instrument you can imagine, like a didgeridoo.
No, come on.
Yeah, seriously. And then there's another small room that's the engineer room, and then there's a tiny room that's more the booth room where you can do vocals, B, guitar, whatever you need that you want a smaller sound.
That's pretty cool.
And the vibe in there was incredible. I I feel like I'm the luckiest girl in the world that I got to work in that environment with the people that I got to work with. People like Teddy Kumpel, who's an amazing guitarist, who is the musical director and guitar player for Joe Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And because of this record, he and I became really good friends. And especially because of the quarantine, we were just like reaching out to one another. We're like musicians that are just staying at home. And what do we do?
Right.
Create. Keep
Mhm.
creating, continue creating, and then
Create.
create some more.
I am willing to be patient. I don't want to force myself to record something just because I want to get it done. I want to have the right people, the right studio, the right time, the right energy.
Mm.
If I start calling people and say, hey, listen, let's go into the studio or do it remotely or whatever just to get it down, and it's not going to feel right or it's not going to sound right, I don't want to do that.
Sure.
You started writing when you were very young, and you have been producing music for so many years. Tell me, how has your music evolved?
Ah, there you go.
Oh boy, my music evolves. The way that I find that I'm evolving is that every time I write a song, I don't want it to sound like the previous song that I wrote
Okay.
or the same style. Like the last song that I started writing the other day has significantly more syncopation and has more of that feel of today's sound that has like it doesn't have the fourth, but it has like the like that faster thing that's been very popular that I've always had an issue with because I like more like slow lethargic kind of singing, and I'm trying to always, I wouldn't say reinvent myself, but make subtle reinventions that are so minute that it makes all the difference. But I'm not like, oh, I'm gonna write a dance record. That's not who I am. Maybe one day. But I find that I'm always trying to play with people's ears.
Interesting.
Um, and I won't write unless I get the channel. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I'm not gonna write to be like, oh, I'm just gonna write something just to write. Like as songwriters yourselves, you'll just sit there and you're like, I have to write this now. You drop everything and go, I have to
Just
do this.
know. I just know sometimes it has
You
to
know,
be right
yeah,
now.
exactly.
Let me ask you a question to piggyback off what Robin said. Do you? I'm going to guess you're probably going to say it's both ways. But when you want to write a song, does melody come first? Does lyrics come first? Generally,
Sometimes it's a melody that comes in my head and I'll play around with it until it feels right.
okay.
Sometimes I'll just play like I'm feeling an energy of something, and when I get the chords, the melody just comes. It feels more like you're co-writing with like a spirit.
Spirit. Oh,
Yeah, like I don't,
that's so. That's so
they're just kind of like, hey, this is the melody, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, okay.
and do the lyrics come later sometimes, or do the lyrics come first, or that's also something that.
Sometimes the lyrics are automatic, sometimes you have to find it. But the lyrics are always there. You have to find it. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not.
Okay. And you're multi-instrumentalist as well. You
I
like
I do play guitar mainly,
okay,
and I do have an acoustic bass that I tattle with
nice.
that I'm still working on getting the right feeling with that. I have been playing piano lately at home a lot. Like I've been going through an Elton John obsession.
Oh wow,
So today I was playing around a lot with Philadelphia Freedom.
great.
And I mean just the type of chords that he has in that song, I'm like, "Oh my God."
Mm,
And I'm trying to build my confidence practicing a lot at home so that eventually I could do it in front of people. I used to play the piano a lot more back in like 2011, 12, 13, and I used to perform on piano a lot. And then I kind of stopped playing the piano for like 5 years. So when I went back to it, I was like, I don't even know if I can play it because it just kind of leaves you. But I think once you sit down for a little bit, things start coming back, the muscle memory. And
yeah,
until it becomes so natural that you're not thinking anymore.
like riding a bike, right?
Yeah, like riding a bike.
I have one more question for you. When people look back on your music, like, way, way off in the distant future, what do you want your music to tell them about you?
I want them to know that I'm just a really hurt kid, and for them to remember that we're all kids.
A really hurt kid?
Yeah, I'm a really hurt kid, and we're all kids, and we all are going through this journey of life together. Everybody has a different type of life. Everyone digests things differently, but what we have the same, besides being human beings, is that we're all really kids inside with wounds. And music, whether you write it or listen to it, it's the thing that makes us relate to one another. It's the most, I would say, it's like a religion that is not closed. It's like anyone can love this one song always without judging anybody,
That's
you
beautiful.
know?
I love that.
Okay, so I wasn't expecting that, and we're officially in season 3 because Robin's crying.
Oh God, please don't.
Oh.
I think the last thing I want to leave people with is please choose kindness. Because I've seen a lot of really rude people as of late. I've seen also a lot of wonderful people as of late. And the kinder you are, the easier this is going to be for everybody. So, having nothing to do with music, just please choose kindness if you do anything good today.
I like that.
Doesn't cost a damn thing. Sprinkle that everywhere.
I really like it. I love your energy. It's fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Thank you
Beautiful.
so much.
Karen, thank you so much for joining us. It was so great to have a good talk with you. We're so happy to be able to feature you as our original artist of the week. And we are now going to listen to Karen's original song.
This is my song, Perished. Stranded on this highway, on my way to you. 4 cylinders gone perished, with a choice to walk from here, be on my way to you. With cylinders that perished, I call you here. I pause, you steal my heart by talking. Oh, the love you speak of's not for me. You try to refine a different tone resulting with cylinders that
this is Motorcycle Mike, the personal injury lawyer. I've been riding motorcycles my entire adult life. During the course of my 30-year career as a lawyer, I've also represented countless injured motorcyclists. If you're one of them, I can be of assistance to you. Go to my website, please, motorcyclemikeesq.com. I'll always be there for you. I'm on your side when you ride.
Joe DeJesu, our original artist of the week from Good Talk TV show Season 1, has a brand new release available that you want to download on all of your digital media platforms. Another Sacrifice is the highly anticipated follow-up single to Cry and Miss Maybe, released in 2019. Joe is also the host of Jam Acoustic Mondays on Gov's Radio. Please follow Joe DeJesu Music on Facebook and Instagram and download Another Sacrifice today.
God knows what we've done. Does it matter what we do?
Don and I were turned on to a song recently by an artist by the name of Edie Wernersbach. Now, this song was written about a medical condition called body dysmorphic condition. And what this is based on is people who will look in the mirror and they will see a stranger looking back at them. And that is the title and the premise of the song as well. And this is something that we felt a lot of people relate to for their own reasons throughout their lives. And we wanted to spend a little time to talk about that. And then we're going to explain what we did to help get the song heard. Don, how do you feel about body dysmorphic condition?
I think that not only we relate to it, I would be willing to bet that maybe 90% of the public could possibly relate to it. The culture that we live in, at least the American culture, is all about that movie star look, and you have to be a certain way, and it's all about vanity, and and I mean, from the 50s forward, it was all about dying young but having a pretty corpse, right? I mean, that's what they used to say. And who judges that standard? What makes somebody look like what people want? And I find that it can really do damage on people's psyche, men and women, both, not just women, men, women. And I think it's the cause of many eating disorders. It's the cause of a lot of emotional and mental stress. It's the cause of a lot of relationships to fall apart. There's so many things that are just wound up into, if you don't like what you see, you're not happy. You're just seeing, for the most part, I would imagine people see something very negative that's burnt into their brain. And let's say that they were called fat as a kid. And it really, really affected them. Now, they could lose tons of weight, and people could say, you're looking really good, but if it hurt them to the core, it really left them scarred, if you would. No matter what that scale says, they're going to look in that mirror, and they're still not going to see what that ghost of perfectionism that they're chasing. And it's a real palpable thing that I think so many people experience.
Well said, partner. I agree with that. I have experienced a lot of it myself in terms of weight. Anybody that follows my social media can see that, years ago I was much larger than I am. There are times where I've been much smaller than I am. And through all of it, I've usually felt pretty much the same. I think a lot of people, when they have body changes or weight fluctuations, it's really hard for everything inside to process that those changes happened. And, we've heard people say, oh, I really wish that I was as fat as the first time I thought I was fat.
Wow.
Because you look back at pictures and you think, it's terrible. I can't look at that. I don't want to be like that. And then you look at them 10 years, 15 years later, and you're like, there's nothing wrong with the way that I look.
What was I thinking, right?
Or you look at it and you can have the opposite effect and say, you know what, see, that was the pinnacle. That was when I looked my best, and I'm never going to look like that. But the thing is with body dysmorphic condition is it is a medical condition that there is no treatment for. Now, there are things that they can take and that can be done that will help deal with the effects of it, but there really isn't a moment where they can look back in the past and say, oh, I looked terrific then, because they never related to the body that they were in,
Right.
for whatever the reason. And feeling displaced from your own self like that is tragic.
Oh, that is tragic. They could never really be at ease. And a body that's not at ease is diseased. Right?
Exactly right.
And I think that we're finally, in this culture, they're calling attention to it. Yeah, body dysmorphic condition. Just in general, there's fat shaming, there's body shaming, skinny shaming. There's just, people can be cruel. Sometimes people don't even want to think they're being cruel. And they'll say certain things about an individual and they don't realize that could really hurt them so deeply on such a visceral level. And they'll carry that with them, unfortunately, sometimes till they die.
Absolutely right. Especially when words can trigger reactions in us from when we were kids, when something happened to us when we were a teenager. You know, somebody can say one or two things to us and say, oh, well, I just said this thing. But you could have said all of these other things from all of these other people. You wouldn't have known that, but it just makes everything come flooding back. So when Edie released this song, there wasn't a video that was going with it, and it was something that took a lot of bravery and courage for her to do. And when I heard it on social media, I've known her for a very long time, and when I heard it on social media and I sent it to Don, and we both agreed that this was a song that we needed to share with you, we reached out to Edie for an interview. And Edie has been on this planet for just over 60 years and is just now coming to terms with this condition and who she sees herself to be. So she wasn't ready to come on camera and tell her story, but we are very grateful that she gave us permission to share this song.
Yes.
This song is called The Stranger in the Mirror. And this was, thanks to Don, directed, filmed, edited, and starred by me. And this really helped me to think outside the box a bit and to channel some of my own feelings that I have experienced in my own lifetime and help convey how the song felt to me to you. So we are going to release our third Robin Eve Media exclusively for Good Talk TV show video, A Stranger in the Mirror by Edie Wernersbach.
Wake up each morning, look in the mirror. There's a stranger looking back at me. It's not the person I need to see. There's a stranger looking back at me. Went to the doctor, said help me please. Doctor, what's wrong with me? I'm not the person I know I should be. There's a stranger looking back at me. The face in the mirror, wish it was clearer. The face in the mirror isn't me. The face in the mirror is in error. There's a stranger looking back at me. Let's talk about it. Tell me all about this stranger in your mirror. The mirror can only show what it sees. Doc, that stranger isn't me. The face in the mirror, wish it was clearer. The face in the mirror isn't me. The face in the mirror is an error. There's a stranger looking back at me. He said, I understand this may be hard to hear. Get some therapy and come back next year. Then it may set you on a new frontier. Until then there'll be a stranger in your mirror. The face in the mirror, wish it was clearer. The face in the mirror isn't me. The face in the mirror is an error. There's a stranger looking back at me. There's a stranger looking back at me.
Thank you, Pulmonary Wellness Foundation, Good Talk TV sponsor. Please visit pulmonarywellness.com to learn more about this incredible organization.
Writing a book is the adventure of a lifetime. Red Penguin Books take pride in giving our authors a publishing experience that is stress-free and celebratory all the way. Some of our authors first approach us with no more than an idea for a book that's ready to sprout. Others submit completed manuscripts. Whether you're at either end or anywhere in between, our goal is to get you published. At Red Penguin Books, we offer options and opportunities that are unique in the world of publishing, and all of them are designed to keep you, the author we so deeply respect, in the driver's seat, unlike other publishing houses. So, if you want to write a book and are looking for a publisher, we've got you covered. Red Penguin Books deal in publishing services, book development, and ghostwriting for digital, print, and audiobook. Call us at 516-448-4993 or visit our website www.redpenguinbooks.com.
I can barely contain myself, but I'm going to try. We've got the New York Bee Gees right here, guys. The New York Bee Gees. What's up?
Welcome to the show, guys. It's so great to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So say hello, everybody. We got on top left, if you're seeing it this way, I don't know, Tom Flintz.
Hello.
On the bottom left, we have Mr. Peter Mazzio.
Guys, how are you?
And we have Tammy Wolf right on the bottom.
Hello.
Right alongside Mr. Mike Flintz.
Hello. How are
You guys know my partner, Robin Eve.
Hi, Robin.
And then just announce to everybody your names in the Bee Gees, your character names, if you would.
I'm Robin Gibb. I'm Barry. When I have a beard.
Singer.
Tammy sings all the songs that the Bee Gees wrote for female artists. And she comes out in the show and does a few tunes.
And you are guitar one.
And I'm guitar man.
You're a guitar man.
I'm the guitar man.
What made you start all these different music projects, the tribute Bee Gees? How did that happen?
Well, it all came about between really Mike and myself. We started, our first gig was 2014 at B.B. King. Actually, Lucille's, right? Lucille we played at?
Yeah.
And I was able to hook up that gig through Vance Brescia, who is the musical director for Peter Noon and Herman's Hermits. So Vance has been playing with Peter for 20 years or more all over the world, and told him about a project that we had in mind. And he said, come in one night. And right in front of the guy, I mean, we had not even discussed. It was just like a thought. And he said to Kobe, right? He said, oh my God, you got to hear my friend's band. He's got a great Bee Gees band. I'm going, what? And anyway, so our first show was a few weeks later. And from there we took off. But the backstory was we were playing at a place called Black and Blue, right? We were Black and Blue.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we were kicking around what to do. And Mike and I were standing at the corner of the bar. And I was like, I'm done playing all the local stuff. I just want to do something. And he's like, Maz, you got a lot more music. We have to find a tribute thing. And everybody was doing Beatles and, you know, just a lot of the, not to knock any of those bands. It's all great. But we wanted to do something that was really different. And between my ability to sing high and Tammy's ability to sing those other tunes, we just started kicking stuff around. Bee Gees, Beach Boys. I guess we were stuck on the Bees. So Mike and I came up with like, let's do a Bee Gees thing. And from there, it really happened. It was just funny. Tommy really fit the part of Robin Gibb, which is not an easy spot or suit to fill, if you will.
Sure.
Because he had the look. He really did. I was like, wow, if we just put the blue glasses on Tommy, that's going to really work. And it really, really worked. And he's a sex symbol, and we all know that. We try to suppress that.
You're
We try to
gorgeous.
suppress that.
Gorgeous.
And
Yes.
and I thought, and then I started to look at all the other bands that were doing it. And I was a research freak on it. Nobody came, the bands were from Canada and from the West Coast, and all the other stuff was in Europe. And nobody was really doing the Eastern Corridor.
Wow.
And yeah, no one was, that was really pretty much wide open. And then I saw there was one act in Europe that was including a female in the band sing some of the songs, like 2 songs that they had written. I was like, you know what? Tammy obviously kills the Barbra Streisand stuff, and that was such a huge, huge part of Barbra Streisand's career and the Bee Gees stuff, Guilty and the other stuff. I just wrote it into our set, and everybody else just really, really fit in. And it's just I'm blessed to be standing out front and have a tremendous, gifted bunch of people with me.
That's amazing.
So
I'd imagine
really
it really works well because the Bee Gees have such a breadth of material to choose from. I mean, you said you started with Bees. You could have done a Bay City Roller tribute band, but you're going to have tunes like very soon.
Yeah, but we can only play on Saturday night then. What will we do on the rest of the week?
Exactly. You'd have trouble.
Could have done Bananarama. You know?
Well, that's awesome. So you guys started then, you put it together, and you haven't looked back, and you've had a lot of success with it. You guys have toured and traveled.
Yep. It's supposed to be, well, we had our first overseas tour scheduled for this spring. So that I think we're shooting for 2021 for that. We're going to be in the UK.
Wow.
For a month. And can we say where we were playing, Naz? Where we were going to?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. It was already announced. Now, hopefully, like you said, we'll reschedule it.
And we were one of the last few gigs we were supposed to play. Speaking of B bands, was the Cavern Club.
That's the Beatles place.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're going back there next year?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hope so. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we're aiming at. We're aiming for right now, mid-April to mid-May, as we were supposed to do this year. We still have an open week. They tried to break it up into 2 weeks for us, but with the pandemic, really, unless there's a vaccine, it's going to be very difficult to do things, and who's allowed to go where. And
Sure.
you know, if we were to go over there, which right now we can't, we'd have to be quarantined for 2 weeks. And it's just, the pandemic is just making everything, the tail is wagging the dog right now, you know? So we were supposed to play this weekend in Westchester, and everything up to the last minute gets either changed or canceled or rescheduled. So we're just going to, our next gig is next Tuesday at Tobay Beach, right?
August 4th. Yeah. One
Yeah.
of the drive-in.
One of the drive-ins,
Yeah.
right?
Well, for people that are watching this show, people watching from all over the world, we're based out of, you guys are based out of New York, Long Island, and we're blessed on Long Island to have beautiful beaches.
Yeah.
And you mentioned you're going to be on Tobay Beach, and I believe the town sets up this huge parking area. They build up the stage, and people get to watch it like a driving movie from their car.
Yeah. For Town of Oyster Bay residents. And I guess they limited, I think, what is it, 50, the first 50 car, whatever it is, whatever rules they set forth. You just have to show your credentials and you get in the parking lot. And like you said, Donnie, they say pack a cooler for your family and load people in the car and party from your car. So
Can you put people in the trunk like the old days at the drive-in theater?
hope so. And I think they have probably big screens set up to watch. And then August 4th, because July 4th, they had to cancel the big Grucci fireworks show.
Oh, wow.
So Town Supervisor Joe Saldino, who's a friend of the band's as well, he rescheduled the show to go on August 4th after our last song. So the big fireworks show will be August 4th after our performance. That'll be fun.
Now, you guys have also been to the West Coast of the United States?
Yeah, we did that. That was what, last October?
September.
August, September.
September, October. We started up north in Oregon, if I remember correctly,
Right.
and worked our way
We
straight
started
down.
in Washington. We started in
And-
Washington and then Oregon. One of those. Yeah, Oregon, Washington. You're right. Yeah.
In
Right.
Portland. We were in Portland. We drove down through San Francisco and ended up down in San Diego, right, finally.
Yeah.
We did about a week there. All the shows went well.
Okay.
And hope to do it again once all this pandemic is over.
Is it hard for you guys to come up with a set list that everybody wants to do because there are so many different styles and periods of their music and how it changed so much? How do you guys work together and come up with what you're going to be presenting in a show?
Pass it to Maz.
Well, when I was putting the show together, I wanted to cover, again, what I really honestly have to say that the research that I did on the other bands that were doing it, because we had never been down this road before, you know? And then knowing that we were having a BB King thing and it was either going to be, you know, it's going to work or you're going to sink on the first show. So what I did was I saw a lot of what the other groups in Europe, especially because they were more keen to the Bee Gees music there. And I just wanted to include songs. The early Bee Gees stuff was very folksy and very Beatle influenced, extremely Beatle influenced. And Robin sang a lot of those songs like Massachusetts and even Lonely Days, and which we just do a small vamp of, and we'll start adding the full song. But a bunch of those songs, Robin had a lot of influence in those vocals.
Sure.
And I wanted the show to have sort of a landscape to it. So rather than doing a chronological thing, the show would have started very slowly then, because again, it would have been pretty much like this kind of a thing and then build. And you don't want your audience to sleep because many people perceive the Bee Gees show as a dance show right away, especially as the years go on. People remember what? The most popular song is of the Bee Gees now, where it used to be, believe it or not, Massachusetts years ago was the most popular Bee Gees song. Now is what? Staying Alive. It's the most relevant song. So people know that. They consider a Bee Gees show that we do a dance show. So we come out, instead of coming out with the slow stuff, we come out with Night Fever and, you know, the stuff, singing the high stuff right away and get them right in the mood. And then we bring them back. So the show sort of has, you know, you hit it, then and you talk. And years ago, this is going way, way back, but Bobby Darin, you know, Beyond the Sea and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Bobby Darin is a tremendous showman. And he and Sammy Davis Jr., I only know this through an old manager that used to handle me many years ago, when they worked in Vegas together. They said, give them the kitchen sink right up front. Once you give your audience what they want to hear, and in our case, you know, hitting the high notes, giving them the energy, you know, and then Tammy coming out, and they're all of a sudden they feel, tight pants, and the musicality of it.
And
it's got
crazy
great
harmonies.
Yeah, it's exactly. You give them everything right up front, so they're not waiting for it. You give it to them, and they come right into you. And that material, as you said before, Donnie, it's such a great body of work.
Yeah.
That they're all it's like doing a Neil Diamond concert, if you will. It's like everybody knows the songs.
Yes.
Everybody sings along. So you're not asking them to buy in. they're already bought in because they know what people come dressed up. Sometimes we used to play BB King's, they come in outfits. They want to experience it. One thing I will say about this band is we all grew up doing this, whether you guys were, with the Roaches years ago or myself. We grew up in very small clubs and used to having people on top of us. And that's very different. A lot of bands, are on a stage and they're like, watch me play. And if they get close, they just don't know how to do it. They get sort of uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But with this band, everybody is so personable, and we know a tremendous amount of our audience at this point, and we've traveled a lot over the nation over the last six years. It's very easy to give everyone, no matter how big the room is, a very intimate feeling. And really everybody, Tammy, Mike, Pete, Manny, Tommy, and even our Donna Summer Girls, to give everybody a very warm feeling, and they speak to the audience. It's not like watch me play. We involve everybody in the room. So whether there's literally one person or we play to thousands, we played to 10,000 people with the Tramps a few years ago in Philly, and it was the same feeling. It's just like a big room. And what you emanate from the stage comes back to you. So if you're feeling good and it comes out well and everybody's warm and delivers it with confidence and really great vocals and musicality, I mean, how are you going to go wrong? It's just great material to play.
I live by that. You said a mouthful. I mean, approachability and personality goes such a long way. And it sounds to me, when you put your sets together, Robin asked you, you guys are generous. You're giving people what they want. And once you did that, then you take them on the musical ride of their life and give them a little story. That's so cool. So
and people really love, I have to say, people really love when Tammy comes in, because thank God it gives me a break from singing high C's and G's and A's. But it's a difference in the show all of a sudden, It's a beautiful female voice. It's perfect for the, it's not like she's trying to sing like, but she has that in her ability, which is tough to do.
She embodies that.
Yeah, she embodies that, So it's great. It's warm, and it takes people by surprise, as our Donna Summer Girls do. They like, oh my God, it's there, and it's a total turn. And it also gives people a chance to see the other music that the Bee Gees have written, which they are not aware. They don't know they wrote Islands in the Stream and the Guilty stuff, and so and I give everybody a couple of little anecdotes, how songs were written and stuff like that, because they like a little history about it too as well.
Sure.
So it becomes sort of like you're sitting in your house talking to people, and it's a nice evening. The 90 minutes goes very, very fast.
I can only imagine.
The audience, when he tells people like a bit of trivia, you can hear them go, oh, like I didn't.
So one of the surprising things about the Bee Gees is not only their extensive catalog of timeless hits, but how many songs that they have written for other people, as we were just talking about. So you guys are kind of the reverse with that. You bring the Bee Gees music to life in a way that really only the Bee Gees have done before you. And it's like experiencing them live, and it's something that it's mind-blowing to experience. But you also have your own individual projects, and it was amazing to me that the Bee Gees were able to make time to write these hits for other people. It's amazing to me that you guys are able to do the Bee Gees as well as you do and still have your own projects that you support outside of that. So tell us a little bit about what you guys do when you are not rocking the stage in this timeless band.
Well, I got to turn that to Mike, because Mike has a very prolific career with Riot. So take it, buddy.
Yeah, I own a music school. I give lessons, and when I'm not doing that, I tour with my band Riot. I've been in the in the band for about 31 years now. And we tour a lot in Europe and Japan, South America, some state stuff, put out a bunch of albums. But,
And you and Tammy, Mike, you and Tammy also do a live feed that is taking over social media.
Yes, yes.
We do it right from this very room.
Yeah.
Yes. In our basement.
What nights?
Yeah, Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yep.
Yeah, we started it when the whole pandemic hit, and we thought it would be a few weeks, and in 2 days it'll be number 18. 18 weeks.
Wow.
Wow.
It's we try and do new songs each time, so
Our repertoire has been
growing.
extended, as has my waistband.
Oh,
Things that have extended over quarantine.
No, it has not.
there's some music about now.
Tom, what about you? When you are not hanging out with these guys doing this, what are you up to?
Uh-oh.
Oh, when we're not doing the Bee Gees, I play with these guys as Peter Mazzio and the Hit Squad. So we basically play a lot of classic rock, and then occasionally I'll do some other gigs once in a blue moon with some other bands I've played with in the past. You know, we'll get together, play out in a bar, and that's about it.
And Mr. Mazzio?
I've written songs, so many songs over the years, and I have some very dear friends over in the UK, and they don't call them DJs, they call them presenters.
Ooh.
And I have a very, very dear friend, Ronnie Walker, at Bishop FM, which is sort of like a BAB kind of station over there, you know, like a community station. And he and Paul Griffin and a bunch of the other people there have been very, very kind to me, and they've been playing my music on the air over there for years. So it's very cool. And I have a song called Sometimes that I just re-edited from a couple of years back that they're going to start rolling there soon. And I always have some Christmas music. That's Sal the Voice, Sal Valentinetti. You know, it's called When Christmas Comes to
Great
Town.
song.
Yeah.
Great song.
And thank you.
I
And
played
that,
sleigh bells on that.
yes, you did. And that song appears every year. Now for the last few years, and hopefully it'll find itself into a movie, which would be great. But so what we're doing right now is playing locally, and until this pandemic finds itself, to hopefully until there's a vaccine, we'll play locally, and then once that happens, I'm very sure we'll be back out on the road because we are booking for 2021, and that's it. As soon as that happens, either later in this year, we have a lot of shows booked, and we'll hopefully, everything will get on track, get traction, and we'll start again.
I've got one last question I want to ask you before we take off and show your video. With the advent of so much music that is out there, tribute band city, cover band city, why would you say people should come out to see the New York Bee Gees over, I don't know, something else? What would you say? What good reason that they should
have
see
fun.
you guys?
The whole show is a big party. I think people don't expect to have. They come out for a good time, and at the end of the show, everybody just comes up to me and says, "Wow, I had the best night of my life. I had
feel good. It's
no
a feel
idea.
Good show.
A feel good show," as Tammy says. It's just a big party, celebration of music, and
Brings memories back for people. You know, we come people come up with stories saying, "I remember when my parents played this when I was little," or "I remember hearing this on my first date," or "when I used to go to the club and dance with my girls," or just like it brings back fun. Whenever you hear a Bee Gees song or any great song, it's connected with a memory, right? And usually the Bee Gees are connected with a happy, feel good in your heart, makes your heart smile.
Where can our fans and our people out in the all over the world find you guys if they want to see your schedule, they want to check you guys out online? How can they reach you?
They can go on to our Facebook page is the New York Bee Gees Tribute Show, and our site is www.spelloutnewyorkbeegees.com. And once we start getting back on the road, we'll update our schedule. So I would think September we're going to start. I think hopefully in September we're going to start doing some shows around the nation again. But we've been doing some private stuff. But those are two places to find us, on Facebook and the NewYorkBeeGees.com website. And we'll update as soon as we start getting back on the road. And just to answer something else to your question before, I think what's really great about the show is, as Mike and Tammy said, a lot of people come expecting like to hear Bee Gees music, but it's a wonderful feeling that, like I said before, it's an intimate, warm feeling that people experience. And when they're done, I don't need to say, you can go look at our write-ups. People feel like they've had one of the best nights of their life in seeing a recreation of the Bee Gees, dressing up like them and all that is so cool. But when you're on stage singing that stuff, it's incredible.
Wow.
I agree. It is.
Thank you so much for that. And guys, thank you for coming out and having a good talk with Rob and Eve.
Thank you, Donnie.
Thank you.
We love
You're a
spending
good
this
friend
time
and we
with
love you.
guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you,
Well,
Rob.
you too.
Thanks, Don.
Thank you.
Without further ado, we're going to throw right over to their promo video. Sit back, guys. You're in for a treat.
Racing, darling, how grand we are. Little by little, we make it in the middle. There's danger in the dark. Islands in the street, that is what we are. No one in between. How can we be wrong? Sail away with me. I just wanna be everything. Open up the heaven and you're right and let me be. Think you ought to be good, not some puppets on a string. You should be dancing.